This video is a recording of my prayers to Source. It's a way of journaling, and my perspective is coming from a place of sincerity, but also growth. And my perspective, of prayer and of divinity has obviously changed over time. And it's been hurt over time. And it hurts at the heart of myself. So it doesn't really matter so much about the action of praying. It's really something that's more for me. Something that I'm acknowledging, speaking from my heart and giving it out to the universe is the best way I can say. Prayer is also magical. So it's really something that's more for me than anything else. And I'm demonstrating videos like these to give people an example, and also just keeping record of my intentions to reach to divinity and to reconnect and to heal at a level where I don't have to be fearful, and I don't have to be scared, and I don't have to have the shadows and the limiting beliefs get in the way of my connection to divinity, but also my connection to myself, because it hurts at the heart. It's the light within, the power of love of the universe. It's the light that's also within me that I am created from, in a way. There's no separation and division from that. And any separation and illusion it's not real. Any separation is an illusion. And no matter what extremes of infinity I reach, it will always be within me. So prayer for me will mean something different for me, and it will mean something different for everyone else. And this is just how unexpectedly I've been healing. It's not the prayers itself, but it's just a record of my journey and how other things I've been doing to not only just reconnect to my relationship with Source, but it is very much reconnecting to the relationship with myself, which is what I've done through shadow work, which is what I've done through trying to reach self-expression. And there's layers of pain here that I've come to recognize, but it is improving nonetheless. And I don't want to feel separated anymore. And I don't want to feel sad or forsaken at the thought of divinity, and I don't want to feel frustrated with it. And despite that I've always had hope. But I had to start at the level of recognizing that I can also have hope for myself to continue on. So it's very much a non-dualistic way of seeing Source as a part of me in the bridge that is also a part of me, and healing, removing the illusions that separated me to begin with. And it hurts. It hurts a lot. And every level that I go up in, I'm recognizing more of my own divinity and my own self in a very compassionate way that I had not really been able to see it before. It's because I needed love to nurture it. And that was something that I just wasn't used to. But I'm recognizing now. And it's like a wound that keeps opening. And I think that it's not really something. Divinity isn't something that's separate from love. It is love, and it is also the love within us. And I think that's why I'm so sensitive and why it hurts so bad. It's because love is so rare. And if we want to connect with that love of divinity, we have to make our own. That's what I've come to observe anyway. That's what it means to me. And so as I move and integrate more and more deeper layers of love, it makes it easy for me to become the change I want to see in this world. To become love. And I have a yearning for that. Love. It is the power. It is the true power in this world, is love. That's just what I've seek. Anyway, this is what I've been seeking. This is what I've been looking for. This was something that I didn't know how to fix, how to heal. This was something that escaped me for no reason, without any comfort or closure. And now I'm actually starting to get some. Finally. So I want this to be a record for anybody else who is feeling like frustration, with their connection to Source. And I gotta say, the pain is at the heart. That's where it is. Energetically, you feel it at the heart. It's a very mysterious, strange thing to me, because the divinity is strange to me. I mean strange in a good way. And opening myself to that love it's what allowed for the peace to happen, so that way I may receive the way that I do and the way that I need to. Okay, so let me get started. Dear Source God, I just want to tell you that I've been growing and I've been learning. And I'm going to tell you what I figured out now. The value of self-love. The value of self-compassion. The value of all these forms of self-love. Another thing rare in this world. I am starting to recognize my own light, actually. And I can actually give it more compassion now. And therefore, I can extend that compassion to others. I've noticed that in my friendships and my relationships with people, how I'm able to integrate, to hold space, and to extend compassion in healthy ways, but also other healthy emotions. Expressing frustration, but in a healthy way, but also just ultimately going back to that compassion, because I'm smarter than to hold on to things like that, and I don't like that. I'm very sensitive, so anything that is causing me to be upset, I seek to integrate it as fast as possible, but also to learn from it, and to also feel the feelings, because it's what's healthy for me to do. And sometimes the only way out is through. So anyway, I have already explained and told you about what you meant to me when I was younger, what the idea of you, how it made me feel, and what I was seeking when I was seeking you when I was 13. And I've realized more so ever than now that the reason why I was seeking you, seeking divinity, seeking source, seeking love, whichever, divinity, I found out that obviously it was for love, but there was a parallel with the idea of having loving divine parents, not like my parents here in this world where love is very rare. So you kind of helped give me that hope, or that idea. That's just what it meant to me when I was younger. But even then, removing the distinction of the idea of divine parents, it is that feeling of being loved as if you were somebody's child. And for me as a child, this is what I was seeking, was to embrace love and comfort, and to bring closure to my own divine light. Where in this world it was not given the proper love that it needed to thrive, that I could nurture, that I could feel good about. And because of that, I felt the pain and the weight and the pressure of this world trying to tell me to be something other than I'm not. Trying me to fit somewhere that I don't belong. And I wanted you because I wanted that closure. I wanted that comfort. I wanted that loving embrace. I wanted to be seen, to be heard, to be recognized, to be loved, to be nurtured, to be supported. So it is the light within me that is seeking to embrace comfort and closure, to my desire, my sincere desire to only look up to the power of divine love, the kind that is the true power in this world and the universe, the kind that can change everything for the best and be a blessing for all. The light within me was seeking comfort and closure to the part of me that is seeking to sincerely grow greater and greater change within myself, so that way I can feel my own inner world expand its horizons of its abundance of love for me. I was seeking you to give comfort and closure to the light within me. Of its desire to honor what I find to be worthwhile. To have that be supported. And to see that as a strength of mine. And a witness to my resilience. And a support of seeing it as a success. To live a life as I see fit, as truly worthwhile. I wanted comfort and closure to that feeling of honoring a life that I want to live. A life that I find worthwhile. That is the strength, that is my light, that is where I find my actual success in this world. And I wanted that comfort and closure to my light, to that part of me that is my light. That's why I was seeking you. I was seeking you for this comfort and closure of my light. To the light, the part of me that chose to be brave, to honor the path of my divine self-expression. By figuring out what it means to love myself and to find my self-worth again. I wanted that comfort, that closure. It's actually what the world needs. More expression in this world. And I've come to find that it lives in my heart as my self-worth and my self-love and everything connected to the self of love in the healthy way, in a way that isn't fearful, in a way that's brave, in a way that's truly strong, in a way that is honoring what is real and leading an example of that, and just always choosing those forms of self-compassion, because it's my connection to you and it's my connection to myself. And it's also something that was my biggest challenge, was to learn how to love myself. When everything else in the world that I lived in didn't want me to, or couldn't nurture it, or didn't know how to honor my light, I was seeking you because I wanted to know who I was. I wanted to know who I am. And I wanted to know that I can trust in my intention to keep reaching for you more and more. That I can trust in my intention to connect to divinity. I wanted to know who I am, and I wanted to know if I could trust you. I wanted to know if I can trust in myself that decides to trust you. I wanted that comfort and closure. I wanted that remembrance. And I also was seeking you because I wanted to feel taken care of. That's why. And that, however I was living my life, like, I could always feel good about my own light. Because this world doesn't measure things by light. It measures things by meaningless shit. I mean, things that don't matter. And this world has very strange perspectives on success, on value, and on power. It has very skewed ideas of love and honor and, I don't know, chivalry. Things that they're weird standards I can't live up to. And I wouldn't even try. Because the sacrifice is too big. It would require me to lose myself. And I desire to keep my humanity and my sanity. You know, and my humility. Okay? And I choose that. What I choose now is how I see you. And that was part of it. Part of how I saw you was part of learning how to see myself in my own light. And not just something that I conceptually believe to be source, but something that I actually feel now. Because it is also me. I don't separate and divide. It was those judgments, those limiting beliefs about you that made it so hard for me to reach you It wasn't just the limiting beliefs about you, but also the limiting beliefs about myself and the stuff that I got from the religious cult. I had to unprogram all that, and I did that through shadow work. So that's good news. But I had to have hope, at least. Because that was something that was so hard to do. And I didn't even know what would come of it, or how I would grow, or if it would work. But I had hope and I had faith regardless. And that was the hope in my own light to continue to try. To try to feel better again. About myself, I suppose. Whatever shadow work promised me, if I did the work, that this is what I could have more love. And I could be love. And that would be a part of the ascension, is to be love. So I thought, hey, I like love. I'll do this. I'll do this now. And I want to say now, this is how I am choosing to see you. This is how I'm choosing to remember you. That divinity always unconditionally accepts and loves me. And that it is always providing the infinite qualities of unwavering support of its divine will that also lives within me. That I also remember that divinity is always viewing the path of my life's natural unfolding with open-mindedness and curiosity. And that I also remember that it perceives me through the lens of true divine love, none of which any illusion of separation and division will ever divide itself from me, because its light is always within me to any extremes of infinity that I reach. And it's not just a concept or a nice idea about God. It's the part of me that honors my own light in a way that doesn't divide itself from you. And that is so important to me. And that is something that I want to protect. And I can only imagine how many people have separated themselves because of the shadows. And when I think of you this way, I feel good. And I have hope. And it's not just a hope and a crying and a begging and pleading to God because I'm so hurt and I just only reach hope. But now I can actually not just reach hope, but I could also reach light. That I can also have it and that I already was it. And that the way that I see you is the way that I'm seeing myself. So that way I can also love and accept me. So that way I can feel closure, comfort, in supporting my own self. And supporting what I find to be worthwhile. And supporting my own light and my own desires. And that I can also see my life through that same lens of open-mindedness and curiosity. And that I could also remember that I don't need to separate and divide myself to have more light or to have more love. And that no matter what extremes of infinity that I reach, whether it's in the dark, whether it's in the light, whether it's anywhere in between, there is always light within me. And I never have to ever believe that I can't have you, or that I can't reach you, or that I can't feel you, or that I can't have any of this love. I don't have to be anything other than the way that you love me for myself. And likewise, because I see you this way, I see myself this way. And because I see myself this way, I can extend this view, this compassion, this love to others. And this is why this connection is so important to me. And it's always been. And I need to be nurtured with love. I need to be supported with love, and I give it to myself, and I connect to you to feel this and to remind me that this is actually who I am. In whichever way I explore, in whichever way my curiosity takes me, in whichever way I express myself in this life, is the way it's supposed to be. And that I can extend that comfort and that closure to myself, even when the world doesn't want to, or it doesn't see it. I'm quite sensitive to that, and that's why it hurts so much for me to be in this world. Because I love love. And because I've always been looking for it. And it nourishes my divine self, and it nourishes my divine inner child. So I don't need to feel bad because I don't meet someone else's standards or someone else's conditions or someone else's fear-based belief system or someone else's ideas of what I'm supposed to be or what I'm supposed to do, because they don't fucking know me like you do. And they don't know me the way I've grown to know myself. And if they did, they wouldn't be treating me this way. They wouldn't be talking to me that way. And I would actually feel comfortable around them, and they would actually feel comfortable with me. So, hey, I honor my humility. I am honest when I say I don't know anything. And I am honest when I'm saying, yes, you are mysterious. And life is mysterious. I think there's a point to that. The mysteriousness is what allows the curiosity and the open-mindedness to flourish, so that way I could find within me the light that is expressing itself, and it's And it's a way that is completely unique to me, which is what you're trying to show me. And which is also what you're trying to show yourself. Because we are not separate. And love is everywhere. If I can tune myself in to the love within myself so that way I can have the expansion of my horizons within this world, inner and outer, I could feel the abundance of its love for me and spread that and share that to everyone else. And I have to say that my best superpower is my ability to change. And that's something that I can always have. My ability to change and my willingness to change and my humility to change. So that way I can receive and transmute into greater and greater layers of love. And that if that's anything for me to be proud of, it's that. So guess what? No one is going to tell me how to live my life. No one. And as long as I am reaching connection, and as long as I'm willing to change and grow and evolve, I will always have that, no matter if I don't get answers right away, no matter if I don't get comfort right away, no matter if I don't get closure right away, no matter if I even understand my own light right away, because it's not the destination, it's the journey. And the company along the way is the love that I've received from people who have loved me and actually supported me, who have shared that source light with me in the form of them and friendships. So I do not need to fear, because no matter what happens to me, I will always find my way back. Because of my ability to change, and because of my humility, and because of my desire to reach love, and because I'm honest, and I honor what is truly real. You made me that way. And this is something that I always want to remember, because it's, in a way, part of my awakening, in a sense. I really needed it, because at the time when I was awakening, my connection to you was not very good, because it was full of cult belief systems that were not serving my connection to source in healthy ways. It ungrounded me with so much fear and judgment and conditions, and I just was so incredibly hurt. It was hard to live life like that, and of course I needed that awakening into shadow work, to spirituality. It's grounded in my shadow work. It's what grounds spirituality. Because like I said, no matter which way I go or whatever way I'm curious or whatever ways I want to explore or whatever my open mind takes me, like I ground my efforts. I ground my curiosity. I ground myself in that shadow work to balance it so that way I don't lose myself in any way of my self-expression, that I always have it. And that is what's actually guiding me. Because that's the most important thing to me. It's love. And whatever form of love that I'm drawn to, whatever form of expression, whatever light that, I find the most love in, whatever my intentions are, whichever way I go and step in this world and in life, and whichever way I express, there is absolutely nothing wrong with it. Because the light within me is strong enough and is humble enough and is willing to change. And it's not that I can't ever make mistakes, but it's just that with mistakes I can learn and I can grow, and I don't have to judge myself too harshly, and I can give myself self-expansion so that way I can actually move forward now. And I can show people how to do that. So I'm meant to use anything and anything that I find brings me closer to you, or that I find extends my love for life, or anything that lights up myself, because the things that I am enjoying are also the things that you're enjoying. And there's a reason for that. And like I said, the shadow work is what's going to ground it and what's going to be honest about it and experience life through a human ego and shed off those layers to become more light, so that way I can have a better way of navigating my own existence here. It was the illusions that made this world so corruptible to begin with. It's what corrupted my sense of self. It's what corrupted my connection to you. It's unhealthy ego that gets in the way, that's not going through the checks and balances of shadow work. And ego is not something to be demonized. It's just simply a facet of life that we grow with as we decide to change. If we seek that out, yeah. And this is what I've been seeking. This is what I've been looking for, and this is what I found. And I don't have to be a stranger to the idea of who I am, because who I am is all the loving things that I surround myself with. That's who I am. And I don't have to look too hard to tell this is the way I'm supposed to be. And likewise, I can extend that love and acceptance to other people who are just being the way that they are. In whatever levels, whatever extremes of infinity that may be. In whatever light and dark or gray area, whichever expansion, whichever way. And likewise, the light within them is no different than the light within me, and the light within me is no different than the light within you. And it can all be loved, and it can all be shared, and it can all be a good thing. a truly good thing. In whichever possibilities of infinite that it can be. And I don't need anyone's permission other than my own. So whatever way you want to extend the love of life to me, whichever resonates to me, it's for a reason. And hey, I'll take it. And I'll honor it. And I will choose to do good with it. Okay? I will choose to do good. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen.